Hey y'all, this is your boy, that typing native, back on Far Cry 4. About to just quickly, briefly run you through a 5-10 minute little tutorial about how to just make the geographical adjustments on a map, and stuff. So I'm gonna get to the main menu here. Back up. So now if you hit L1 toolbox, you're going to go into terrain. You got gameplay objects, new objects, add AI for, like, say, story kind of missions if you want to go in with a buddy or whatever and just do a crazy little campaign. It's kind of like Dungeons and Dragons, Swords and Legends, dungeon crawler, in a sense like that. You could set up different types of, like, if I go into it, you'll see animation points, animals and allies you can have. There's different enemy waves you can set up. Like, you can kind of just place you and your buddy in a camp and have, like, different waves of enemies coming at you. Like, it's insane. But for the sake of this video, I'm making an assault video, or an assault map, sorry. Basically for 4v4, 8v8. It's a medium to large scale map, and I would encourage you to not be overwhelmed by the sheer size of a map and the whole map creating process, because it's really not that overwhelming. Because the fact of the matter is, man, like, I started playing Far Cry, sheesh, man, years ago. I beat Far Cry Classic, man, PS1 Classic. Far Cry 2, beat that one, and I went on to Far Cry 3. Beat that mug, went on to its DLC, which was kind of a standalone DLC called Blood Dragon. Beat that mug, and now I'm on 4, and I also have Primal, so I'm kind of getting pretty amped about Primal as well. It's got the whole animal, BC 1000 aspect to it. So, but yeah, don't get too overwhelmed about making the maps, because it's not as overwhelming as you would originally think. Just by the sheer size of a map, you're like, okay, I gotta place all the buildings. It's gonna take me decades, so I'm not even gonna bother. And that's what a lot of people do. And you know what? You're missing out on a ton of fun experience of having just feeling the joy. That's what I do it for. It is feeling that joy that comes with seeing other people experience your map, and to know, you know what, this is my map. I published this thing right here. And to have players give you feedback, have players rate your map, and to know, continue to grow on making better maps. And you get faster and faster as you make these maps. And I've gotten to the point now, after making maps on Far Cry 2 and Far Cry 3, I can make maps now here in Far Cry 4. I made a smaller map, and I'll post a video on it. I made a smaller size map in like 1 to 2 hours. So you can go to, like, I can make a medium to a large scale map, probably, if it wasn't really intricately detailed, but yet still, large scaled and, good and dope. Just not a whole lot of interior decorating in the buildings, just a couple little things for cover, basic stuff like that. I can make that probably in, like, a good 3 to 5 hours. Solid, just straight, just making the map. So it's not that overwhelming. It isn't that time consuming once you learn the mechanics of the game. But anyway, let's get to it here, without any more delays. This right here, basically, if you hit L1, you go into terrain, you're going to see a thing called create snapshot. Now that snapshot right there is pretty important, I would say, because that is what the people are going to see when they look at your map. And now if you press options and you go into, say, preview, it's going to say the name of my map, and then you're going to see the picture. And I've got it on balance for co-op, so it's going to definitely be co-op map. And I named it the Ming Dynasty. And basically, the whole inspiration behind the Ming Dynasty name for this map in particular was just that I'm reading through a book right now, ancient Chinese literary classic titled The Art of War by Sun Tzu. And some of you may know that, some of you may not. That's cool. But just, I'm a huge history buff, so I just kind of drew inspiration out of this book that I'm working on right now, and I'm gonna make it just into the Ming Dynasty, but just back in the Chinese history of the 11th and 12th century. So there's gonna be a lot of Chinese culture type stuff around, and it's gonna be dope. I know this is gonna be dope. And basically, as you make more maps, I've come to find that your creative genius that's in your brain, that creative spark that's there, it seems to just get more and more ignited, because now that I've made probably about 20, 30 plus maps over the last couple years in different Far Crys, you get crazy ideas that start flowing, and yeah, you just start putting things together real fast. But anyway, for the terrain, if you look, basically, like when you go in here, you go to map limits. So map limits is your map limits, and like I said, if you look at mine, you'll see. Let me back out here just a little bit. So basically, that's mine. Mine's going to be basically pretty close to a medium, more so a large scale map, right? And I just want all that kind of cut out just for like sightseeing, whatever. But that's basically the idea I had. So you can kind of you see these little red points, and you can adjust accordingly. R2, grab it, adjust, so on and so forth. And you can add points as well. If I want to add here, you can add there. Boom, boom, boom. You know, I might. Yeah, right up to about there. Yeah, so right there, and then in here obviously is going to be a little enclosing. I'll bring that up to like right there. And basically this is going to be the outlines of my map, so I'm going to drag that out there. I'll drag that up there. Let's grab this and put it against the thing there. Okay. And so basically, as you can see, that's the outline of the map. So what I did is I went and I raised a lot of the ground up, and it originally wasn't even like, it didn't look like mountains like this. It was all just this grass. So I basically raised it up, and it was just big mounds and hills of grass. So what you want to do then is you want to just go right in not terrain tools, but paint texture. So if you go into your like main menu here, you go into terrain and then paint texture, and you're going to see 4 palettes. Now, quick word of advice, real quick. This is something you don't want to mess up on, because you'll notice it right away. So you got terrain, which is the default, and then this was also default because that's what the color of the cliffs already were when I basically came up with the generated map, the template. And I came in here, and that's what it was. So now if you go on, say, you only got 4 palettes. Now this is important. You don't stress yourself out over it or nothing. You know, just have a sip of your espresso. You're all good. But this is important. Like, go into, like, for example, the cliff. Now you see cliff rocks. Now if I go to, say, bamboo dry leaves, and I switch it, just watch what happens to these mountains. I think you already know. Boom. You know, oh my God, that really changes the look of things. You know, but for this particular map, it just doesn't look right. So what you want to do is go back to cliff rock. Boom, we're back to business. So this is the thing. The crazy thing about this is you want to just have the right textures, and it's completely up to you the way you want to make your map. This is just for my particular map and what I have the idea for, and this just looks the most realistic in the way I want it to. So but I'm just saying that when you're on the palettes, make sure that you choose one and then you stick with that one, because if you switch it, it switches your entire palette. And then you've got different ones, but you can choose 4, so choose wisely. And then even down here, like if you look, I gotta slow that down a little bit, but down here if you look, you're gonna see like I built a ramped it down, and then there's a little path going up, and I'm gonna have kind of a village in there. It's gonna be like a hardcore area for battle. But yeah, you got that, and like even that's, you just go down into your roads, which is in terrain, your terrain section, and you got your 8 palettes there. So on this one you got 8 palettes, which is nice. It's nice to have different flavor of roads, but that's a north footpath village, and that goes just up into the village, and there's going to be a village there. So, and then I'm going to have some trees and stuff covering, and there's going to basically, my idea is basically to have a bunch of trees covering this entire area, and there's going to be a little path leading up to this path, and different paths sprouting off different areas. And yeah, I'm going to have like vehicles and stuff, so you can kind of cruise through the trees. It's going to be a real epic little drive and nice scenery. Sun's going to be shining through the trees. It's going to be dope with the lighting and everything. And those are all just like aesthetic stuff, just for like the player's enjoyment, you know. So, and it's going to look really realistic. So basically, yeah, that's the video for today, and I'm going to make more. But let me know if you like what you saw, if it helped you out in any way. Definitely always appreciate the feedback. If you like what you saw, hit the like button, and you know, definitely check out my homie. He's gonna start creating some maps with me as well. His name is Captain Proton. He's on YouTube. Go check him. Hit the subscribe button, and tune into his videos as well, because he's got a lot of creative genius. Love that brother to the moon and back. And we have already planned different types of maps and stuff. You know, with different ideas and stuff. So I'm sure he's going to be coming out with something. We've been talking about it as we're working through the campaign, the co-op campaign in Far Cry 4, and just discussing different types of ideas and stuff. So it's going to be dope. Definitely check him out as well. But yeah, I hope this helped y'all, man. And Just one more thing quick about the terrain. How to raise it up is you want to go into your terrain, and you can either go bump or you can go raise, right? And then there's that ramp part for that little ramp ahead. But I usually use raise, and you can adjust your radius, height, hardness, distortion for like a mudslide effect, all that. And you just want to basically raise up a border. That's why I raise this all up, so that way people aren't just roaming off the face of the planet when they pass the player limits on the map, the map limits. So that's basically an idea. But if you want to use walls, you can use walls. You can use anything. But that's just for the terrain, if that's what you want to do to get your map started in a kind of a mountain type of setting. But it all depends, like I said, on what you're going to do with your map. So, definitely, let me know what you guys think. And like I said, if you like what you see, hit that like button. And, yeah, this is your boy, the Type of Native, signing off. And another episode of Far Cry 4 map creation.